Most people picture lighthouses as romantic, lonely towers. They are symbols of guidance, standing against stormy seas. We imagine a solitary keeper looking out at the ocean, but there is a surprising reality behind these iconic structures. The cost to operate and guard a modern remote lighthouse can be staggering. We are talking about figures reaching upwards of $1.2 million a year. This number often shocks people. How can a single building, whose main job is to shine a light, cost so much to maintain? The answer is not simple. It involves a complex mix of logistics, technology, and human endurance. It is a story about what it takes to keep a light shining in one of the most challenging places on Earth. The secret to this high price tag lies in one word: location. We are not talking about lighthouses you can drive to on a scenic coastal road. We are talking about structures built miles from anywhere. They are perched on jagged rocks far out in the open ocean. These lighthouses are islands unto themselves. They face the full, untamed power of the sea. Storms here are not just rain and wind. They are violent events with massive waves that can crash over the entire structure. Getting people, food, and equipment to these locations is a major operation. There are no roads, no docks for large ships. Every single thing must be brought in by specialized boats, or, more often, by helicopter. This is where the costs begin to add up significantly. Think about what this isolation means. For weeks or even months, the keepers are completely cut off from the rest of the world. Their only connection is a radio or a satellite phone. The weather dictates everything. A sudden storm can delay a supply drop for days, even weeks. This means planning is critical. You cannot simply go to the store if you run out of something. Every meal, every spare part, every medical supply must be planned and delivered far in advance. The psychological challenge is just as great as the physical one. Living in such a confined space, surrounded by the constant roar of the ocean, requires a unique kind of person. It is a job that demands resilience and self-reliance, day in and day out. The purpose of these expensive outposts remains as vital as ever. They are not just historical relics, they are active, crucial aids to navigation. They guard dangerous reefs, shoals, and coastlines that pose a threat to modern shipping. A supertanker or a massive container ship navigating through a treacherous channel at night relies on these lights. The light provides a clear, unmistakable reference point that GPS might not always offer with the same reliability, especially during a system failure or cyber attack. The lighthouse is a physical guarantee of safety. It is a non-digital signal that says, "Danger is here. Steer clear." The high cost, therefore, is directly tied to ensuring this vital signal never, ever goes out, no matter the conditions. What is it really like to work as a modern lighthouse keeper? The job is far from the quiet, reflective life many imagine. It is a demanding 24/7 responsibility. The primary duty is to ensure the light and the foghorn are always working perfectly. This is not just flipping a switch. It involves constant monitoring of complex electrical and mechanical systems. Keepers perform routine checks on the main lamp, the backup generators, and the powerful batteries that store energy. They have to be skilled technicians, able to diagnose and fix problems on their own. When a storm rolls in and a critical piece of equipment fails, there is no one to call for immediate help. The safety of mariners depends entirely on their expertise. The daily routine is structured and repetitive. It has to be. A typical day might start with a weather report and a visual inspection of the entire tower. Keepers check for any damage from the sea or birds. They clean the giant lens, a delicate and crucial task to ensure the light shines at its maximum brightness. They log weather data, monitor radio channels, and communicate with the Coast Guard. There are also endless maintenance tasks. This includes painting to protect the structure from corrosive salt spray, repairing machinery, and managing fuel and water supplies. Living in the lighthouse means you are also the janitor, the cook, and the handyman. It is a life of immense responsibility and constant work. The isolation has a profound impact on a person. Keepers typically work in shifts, perhaps 2 to 4 weeks on the lighthouse, followed by a few weeks off on shore. During their time on station, they live in a very small, confined space. The constant sound of the wind and waves becomes the soundtrack to their lives. They must be able to get along with their small team or handle long periods of solitude if working alone. Mental fortitude is as important as any technical skill. Hobbies like reading, writing, or exercising in a small space become essential for staying sane. The connection to the outside world is limited, making the return to normal life on shore a significant adjustment each time. Comparing this job to other remote professions puts it into perspective. Think about workers on an offshore oil platform. They also face isolation and harsh conditions. However, a platform is often a large facility with dozens, sometimes hundreds of people. It has a cafeteria, recreation rooms, and a dedicated medical staff. A remote lighthouse might have a team of 2 or even just 1. The level of self-sufficiency required is much higher. Similarly, scientists in Antarctica work in extreme isolation, but they are part of a larger, well-funded research station with a significant support structure. The lighthouse keeper is a unique blend of technician, janitor, and survivalist, all rolled into one. Let's break down the major costs that push the annual budget to $1.2 million. The single biggest expense is often transportation. Helicopters are the primary vehicle for crew changes and supply deliveries. A single helicopter flight to a distant offshore rock can cost tens of thousands of dollars. These flights are needed for routine crew swaps every few weeks. They are also needed for delivering food, fresh water, fuel for the generators, and any necessary repair parts. If an emergency repair is needed, an unscheduled flight adds even more to the cost. The volatile weather can also increase expenses, as flights might be canceled or require more complex planning to fly in a safe window. Next comes the payroll for the specialized staff. Lighthouse keepers are not minimum wage employees. They are highly trained technicians who must have a wide range of skills. They need to be electricians, mechanics, and radio operators. They also need to have medical and survival training. Because of the demanding nature of the job and the long periods away from home, their salaries are significant. A yearly salary for a skilled remote keeper can easily be over $100,000. When you factor in a team of 2 or 3 keepers working in rotation to cover the post 365 days a year, the total payroll can quickly reach $300,000 to $400,000 annually. This compensation is necessary to attract and retain people with the right skills and temperament for the job. Then there is the constant battle against the elements maintenance. An offshore lighthouse is under continuous assault from salt water, high winds, and powerful waves. This environment is incredibly corrosive. Metal rusts, concrete erodes, and windows get battered. A significant portion of the budget, perhaps around $250,000 a year, is dedicated to maintenance and supplies. This includes everything from specialized marine-grade paint to replacement parts for the light and foghorn systems. It also covers the cost of food, fuel, medical kits, and all the other supplies needed to sustain the keepers. These are not simple grocery runs. They are bulk logistical operations planned months in advance. Finally, we have the cost of technology and communication. Modern lighthouses are equipped with sophisticated systems. These include advanced weather monitoring instruments, redundant power systems, and reliable satellite communication links. The main light itself is often a high-tech piece of equipment, and its backup systems must be just as robust. The satellite internet and phone systems that provide a lifeline to the shore are expensive to install and maintain. This technology, costing upwards of $100,000 a year for service and upkeep, is essential for both the operation of the lighthouse and the safety of the keepers. It ensures they can send data, receive instructions, and call for help in an emergency. With the high cost laid bare, the big question remains: are these lighthouses still worth it? In an age of GPS and advanced digital navigation, some might argue they are obsolete. Almost every large ship, and even small boats, now has access to satellite positioning. It seems like a simple screen can tell a captain exactly where they are at any moment. Why then do we need to spend over $1 million a year to keep a light on a rock? The answer is about redundancy and the undeniable reality of risk at sea. Technology can fail. GPS signals can be disrupted, either by solar flares, technical glitches, or even intentional jamming. When that happens, a ship's crew needs a reliable, old-school backup. The lighthouse is the ultimate backup. It requires no special equipment on the ship to be seen. It is a simple, effective, and powerful visual confirmation of a vessel's location relative to danger. For a ship captain navigating a dangerous passage in a storm with high winds and waves, seeing that familiar flash of light can be the most reassuring sight in the world. It cuts through the digital noise and provides a hard, physical fact. This is the danger point. It is not just for big ships either. Smaller fishing boats and recreational vessels may have less reliable electronics, making the lighthouse an even more critical tool for their safe navigation. It is a universal signal of safety. The cost, while high, must be weighed against the potential cost of a disaster. A single shipwreck of a large container ship or an oil tanker could be catastrophic. The economic loss could be in the hundreds of millions of dollars, not to mention the devastating environmental damage from an oil spill. Cleaning up such a spill could cost billions and harm marine ecosystems for decades. From this perspective, spending $1.2 million a year to prevent even one such disaster seems like a very wise investment. It is a form of insurance. We are paying for a guardian that stands watch every single night, protecting our coastlines, our economy, and our environment from a worst-case scenario. In the end, the cost of guarding a remote lighthouse is a reflection of its immense importance and the extreme difficulty of its mission. It is a price we pay for certainty in an uncertain world. The keepers who live and work in these isolated towers are not just maintaining a building. They are upholding a tradition of maritime safety. They are the human element in a system designed to protect lives and property at sea. While the price tag is high, the value of that steady, dependable light in the darkness is, for the mariner in a storm, priceless. The cost is not just for a light, it is for the peace of mind that comes with knowing a guardian is always on watch. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe for more fascinating stories.